Well, hello everybody. Here I am, Red Blanchard. And it's December 29th, 2010. And I just celebrated my 90th Christmas. And I just thought I'd come on television here and talk about what it's like to be old. A lot of people younger than me, you young people down in your 60s and 70s, you think you're old. Well, I'll tell you what old is. Old is when you have a prostate the size of a Volkswagen. And old is when you can't feel your feet. You think you're walking around with a couple of dead weights on the end of your leg. That's what it's like to be old. It doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. That's the way it is. Every time you wake up in the middle of the night, you wonder, can you ever go back to sleep? But you do. You go back to sleep, and the next morning you wake up, and you turn on your TV camera, and you talk to the world. At least that's what I'm doing right now. Anyway, 2010 was quite a year for me, and I hope it was for you too. And I hope you all have as good a health by the time you're 90 as I am right now. I'm a lucky man. Even though I've outlived a lot of people, that's to be expected. When you're old, you're going to outlive a lot of people too. Say, I didn't mean to. That other computer is on. It's making noise in the background. I just turned it off. You probably could hear the fan running. I should have shut it off before. Well, I've got two computers going here in this room, and I have to remember to look at the camera. One of the things I've learned over the years of doing video is don't have a monitor on. If you have a monitor on, you have a tendency to look into it. So I've got one on there, but I'm forcibly not looking into it. Anyway, what else can I say about being old? You like to go to bed early because you can't think of anything to do to keep you up late. I mean, you don't want to just sit there and watch TV until 11 o'clock, do you? So I usually wind up going to bed around 8 or 9 o'clock. And I lay there and do a couple of crossword puzzles to try to get sleepy. And that helps too. And crossword puzzle keeps your mind going. That's one thing I wanted to mention too about my own personal health. And my mind is still as good as it ever was. I feel like I have a mind like a steel trap. I'd rather be like a mine, but it isn't. It's like a steel trap. And one more thing, my eyesight. I can see better now than I did years ago because I had cataract surgery. And when they put those new lenses in your eyes, it opens up a whole new world. Well, I've had that about 10 years ago, and I see perfectly now, much better than I did when I was a young man with all that astigmatism and so on. When I used to be a trombone player in the big band days, I'd look down at the music, and those little notes, you could hardly see them. They'd seem to float around, and that was because of astigmatism. And of course, back then, I didn't even know enough to wear glasses. So I didn't ever wear glasses till I was around 35 or so. Now, that brings up another point, which I'm going to tell about this as a public service. Because when I was about 35, maybe 38 or so, my 9-year-old son came home with the mumps. Well, growing up in the time that I did in the 1920s, almost all the kids caught the mumps, and then they were immune for the rest of their life. Well, I never had the mumps. I didn't realize how serious the mumps were. That's why I'm going to tell you now. Mumps is a very serious problem for a boy above the age of puberty. And that's what happened to me. My son came home with the mumps, 9 years old, didn't bother him any. But what happened to me when I got the mumps, it turned out to be a very serious situation. And you can look it up and find out why all boys should be inoculated for the mumps when they're little. I guess they do that now. When I was a kid, they didn't have any kind of inoculation. They just said, everybody get the mumps, and then you're immune forever. Well, I didn't get it until I was about 35, and it had a serious effect on me, which I won't go into detail, but you remember it for the rest of your life. You'll never forget it, I'll tell you that. Okay, so much for the mumps. The only other problem I've got today is what to do with my time. I'm living all by myself here in Escondido, California, where they have beautiful climate some of the best climate in the United States. They never get a drop of snow here. Right now it's in the middle of winter and it's raining. The temperature outside is probably around 55 degrees. And you turn on the TV and you see back east they're shoveling out under 2 or 3 feet of snow. And that's the way it was when I was in high school in Gardner, Mass. I had enough of that snow to last me the rest of my life. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and tell what it's like to be old. I don't feel quite old. In fact, my daughter thinks I'm not anywhere as near as old as I am. And good for her. But you know how daughters are. They idolize their father. And my daughter idolizes me, and I've always liked that. And so I guess I'm going to close it out now. And I wonder how you get... Oh, I wanted to mention about YouTube. I've put on a few things on YouTube in the past. I might put this one on too. But what I'd like to know is, how do these people put a video on YouTube and get 1 million hits? There must be some kind of a secret trick. Because I've put a lot of videos up there, and the most I ever got was 140, and that's probably all my family members. So I do have 20 descendants right now. Is that descendants, whatever you want to call them? I got about 20 right now, including great-grandchildren and so on. But anyway, if this video would hit 1 million hits, I'd be very surprised. But I hope the ones of you who do look at it will look forward to getting old. And it's not so bad. I like it. I'd rather be my age now than turn back the clock and have to live through the teenage angst again. Well, I say that, but it's probably not true. I wouldn't mind being 25 again, I'll tell you that. And who wouldn't? But it's not going to happen. So anyway, my name is Richard Bogardus Blanchard Jr., otherwise known in showbiz as Red Blanchard, and I'd like to say Happy New Year, a very good 2011 coming up for you, and for me too. And I say, so long until tomorrow.